Okay, welcome back to the continuation of the database class. Let me close all these guys. Stay in the chat. Alright, we don't need this one. Don't need to tell us if you actually did your job fine. We'll get to see it as well, but if not, tell us there's a problem. Yeah, you could make it more fancy. We're actually adding what the real problem is by saying dot mysql underscore error. So that means they're telling us, tell us the exact issue that came up with it. So it's also going to add it to it. So yeah, we're just appending whatever error is throwing to this thing. Nothing special. Okay. So let's now drop some information inside our insert data into the table. So we insert data into a table, into the table called, I think is information table. That's called table exam. So how do we insert data into that table like that? We use a query. It's a query. That's just the variable name anyway. It could be anything. Should be equals to insert. We say insert into information table. The information table, that's where we want to insert any information we want to put in right now inside it. That table consists of how many fields? We have ID. See this table, it has ID, name, and then phone number. So come to say ID, name, and then phone number. Is it phone number? Phone. Let's get to see. How is our phone? Now, but because we've said our ID should be able to increment, we don't need to put it there again. We are not inserting any value into it. It's a work of the database itself to keep auto incrementing that values for us. Okay, so these are the two columns we have. So we then say values. That means what exactly do you want to insert into this thing? Okay, I want to insert J, and then J number should be 01, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, let me use J alone. Let's use the full name Kellogg's J, and then we have this. If you notice very well, it's just very simple. Writing your insert statement. This is what we call an insert statement in a structured query language. We are telling it insert into where. What should you insert into? You put the table name there. What are the fields that you'll be needing that person to insert into? That you need this code to insert into. Okay, I need you to insert into the field called name and the field called form, because I don't want it to insert into ID. ID will auto increment itself, so it could take care of itself absolutely fine. So we have values to insert, which are Kellogg's. This is one value, as you can see, is in a quote. This value will go for the very first thing, which is a name. Then the second value will go for the second thing, which is form. So I've just written a normal statement. I needed to now give it power, and so I'm going to use my MySQL underscore query, and I'll now pass in the query right inside of it. Query. So MySQL underscore query will take the query you've created and attempt to pass it to run it anyway. Okay, so if it works very fine, there should be a way we should know. If not, there should be a way we should know as well. So we can say if MySQL underscore query, let's say if it's able to do this very fine, just added an extra condition to it. If MySQL underscore query, that means attempt to do it, so you should echo information saved. Okay, then we have the else aspect of it. Yes, echo unable to save information So right now, let's just run our code. We are not actually taking any parameters from anybody. Right there, we are the one putting it straight away. So let's run it and let's see. Oh, information saved. Okay. So let's go back to now. Let's see for ourselves if there's really any information that has been saved right in here. So let me click on browse. I say, wow, I got it. Colors and this. Okay. So let's throw the ball more open. Let's allow people to save the information themselves instead of we doing the work ourselves, dropping the information and writing here. So instead of passing your own value right from the code, let's unlock this name and phone number to be coming from the text field we've actually created here. Our inputs here, it comes from the phone and from the name. So we then pass the name here. Instead of we passing any word ourselves, we could put hash name, dollar name, and then dollar phone number. Right in here. So instead of running this, we no more running this. We'll come and run the form, which is what people actually get. It's a variable that is actually being passed from here. This is a variable, then the variable is being passed here. Now, this field is a field you've created in database. The ones here, anything values means your variable. So the variable we want to pass in here doesn't matter the name. If I like, I name this one full name. In fact, it's good I rename it so that you don't think it should always be the same. This values means what do I want to drop inside of this name. This is it. This is what I want to drop there, which is coming from here. The phone number is actually what should be dropped inside this phone. You don't necessarily have to be phone. This is what should correlate with what you have in your database. This one is a variable that you want to pass right inside of your database. So let's run this again and then let's pass something. Let's pass James and let's pass his phone number and then after saving, okay, let's save information saved. Let's go back and then browse, and we have our James and we have this. So even after this is closed, after you close your program and everything, since your information is in the database, it already remained there. So let's go back to our database and check. We have address DB, we have the information table, and we have browse. So we can absolutely find out information there. Against next class, which will be tomorrow, we'll be seeing how we can then retrieve information also from database. Okay, which now we could absolutely do something. Let's try and break up our codes. Let's farm it up and make it a bit more easier for us to use against next time. The step 1 and step 2 is always something that you have to keep doing, maybe every now and then. You have to probably connect to a database, to the server at first, and then after then connect to the server, not the database, sorry. Connect to the server and then connect to the database. So I can decide to just push away these two codes out of here because it's something that is constant. I don't need anybody to keep changing it or tampering with it myself, so I can just cut it out away from here. I can create another file which I will call my connection. You can call it my connection, and some people call it config. I love to call it config in my own file. So my connection. So inside my connection, I'll just put all those files right in there. Oh, sorry, I have to create a page. Okay, so I've created this, so it's separate. I'll just come in here and say include my connection .php. So that means everything that has to do with connecting to the server, include the connection to the server file here. So everything that has to do with connection to the server is handled inside of this script, which is this. So that one is permanent. So if I need to write another program now, I don't need to start writing all those database, connect to the server again. I'll just drop this line or statement inside my code and that one picks it up and it works fine. So let's test it again. If we can now see that just one single thing, we have 3 different files for it. This is what actually people get to see. This is a view. This is the logic of it, and these are settings for our connection to the database. After people must have connected over here, information saved, we might actually want to direct people back to where they filled that information so that they don't get to stay on that page that much, or it's actually anyway. So you can redirect back so that it seems as if they are still on the same page. To them, it doesn't look as if something went somewhere and then came back again. So we can decide to do that one too as well by just saying header. We say header, then we give it a location to go to. Location should be equal to address book. I don't know, because that's where it's actually coming from. .php. So we have address book.php. Or better still, we can use a JavaScript. We might have some little use with this one. Okay, let's see for ourselves. Wow, information says, but this one is saying cannot modify information after this is done. Yeah. So another thing you can do to that one is actually to have a JavaScript and then to do this referencing for. We can actually say echo. Then you have your script. Type should be equal to. This is how to actually mix JavaScript with PHP. I'm going to just use a single quote over here. And then what? It's the same thing as the single quote. You've already started something with a double quote. There cannot be any double quotes in between. It's a break it. So use a single quote. Then I'm gonna say alert information. So I'm not going to use a double quote. Information saved. Okay. So once I'm done with this is an alert, which is the JavaScript. I'll close my script. Yes, I'll close my script and then I'll end it with my double quote. So instead of writing this echo information saved like this JavaScript is the same thing, information saved, but now I'm using JavaScript. So I'm asking it to echo the whole of the script out. So let's test this and see that there's no problem before we add another one. Okay, so information saved. This looks better. Okay, but it's still in this address code. The next thing is we need it to come back to that very page, which is address book. We don't need to stay in address code. We need to come back to this address book like so. So let's say use JavaScript and finish up our job over here. So after doing that, we say echo again, script, type JavaScript, use a single quote. So windows.location, 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 oh sorry, is it windows.location or windows.location? Should be equals to what should it be equals to address book.php, address underscore book.php. Then we end our script. It seems as if something is wrong somewhere. Yeah, this should have gone. Windows the location should be equal to this, and then script should end there. And then we should
close this opening tab. Do you close it before the script?
the opening tag has been closed right here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we now have Windows dot location to be equal to this. Okay. And I still need to get something. Okay. I just need to be sure it's Windows or window. Windows dot location. I think it's Windows. Let's change it. If it's not, so let's test our code again. If there's any issue in that line, I'm tired of typing anything I can. Oh, information save, and then oh, it didn't work. It still remained there. So probably is window. Yes, probably is window. Somebody give me his name. I'm tired. Ayomide. Okay, what's that? This phone number? 7643752. I think this should be the very first correct record. Okay, yeah, you see, when it was done, it came back to this address book. So user did not know that it actually went somewhere to do something and then came back. Okay, so we have this in our database. So you can decide to select all this and then delete it. Delete it and say yes. Oh, okay, so we have this back. Be careful when you delete. Once lost is forever gone. Okay, so that's how we can actually save. Next class we'll see how we can retrieve. Thank you.